A sunny Saturday morning here at the Temple of Speed, the home of the Italian Formula One Grand Prix. Hello, good morning, and welcome to Monza. This is the Italian F4 Championship with a record-breaking entry of 49 cars here this weekend. The sun is shining. It is the last day of autumn at one of the most famous race circuits in the world. Good morning. Nice to have your company as you join us as we approach the midway point of this, the most competitive junior car racing series in the world. This is the Italian F4 Championship presented by the Automobile Club of Italy, together with WSK Promotion ever since the series inception back in 2014, which was won by current Aston Martin Grand Prix driver, the Canadian Lance Stroll. It is the first of 4 races here this weekend. Track capacity has been reduced to 36 cars from the 49 entries. Just the final, the fastest, the luckiest 36 will make it through to the final tomorrow afternoon. Coming off a great win at Vallelunga is the Finn, Luca Samalisto, speaking with Michael.
Good morning, everyone. Here we are in front row with Luca Samalisto. Hi, Luca. So at Monza, starting from P2, could even work in your favor as you can benefit from the slipstream?
Yeah, of course, the slipstream is huge here. It's something maybe I think I'm just trying to get a good start. Trying to go to the front and do my own stuff and see where it gets us. And yeah, for me, the round to the qualifying is really what I say. I'm starting to do for this race and also the other one. Well, starting in the front row, and I hope we can maybe win both of the races. So yeah, just trying to do my own stuff and see where it gets us.
Thank you.
Luca Samalisto comes into Monza after a fabulous round at Vallelunga. Qualifying took place last night. Let's check out what happened yesterday evening in timed practice.
We knew we had the speed from testing, but obviously being a Temple of Speed, it's a very chaotic track. Anything can happen. Everyone wants to tow. But yeah, we knew we had the speed. Luckily, I got a few laps in, good laps in, so yeah, I was good. And at the end, I got a good tows and a good lap, so very happy. And then ended up with a pole. So to be honest, this time it wasn't too bad, but in one of the free practice sessions, it was pretty bad. It's very chaotic because, as I said, like everyone wants to tow, so they just brake, slow down. But luckily, the stewards have put some rules out to make everything a bit safer, which I think has worked out well. So big thanks to them. Team Us Racing, big thanks to them. It wouldn't be possible without them. Best team ever. Let's go.
Yeah, it was quite unexpected. I got behind 2 Tridents and a Prema, and going into turn 1, I overtook the Prema. The Trident, the first Trident, and then into last corner, I went around the outside of the other Trident, and by the end of the lap, I was like 5 car lengths behind the Prema, so I gained like a lot of track position from that, and yeah, it was a really good lap overall. But I've adapted well, and I'm super impressed with myself.
Pole position in round 2 at Vallelunga for Ed Robertson, and he backed it up yesterday here at Monza. It was his teammate Noah Kilian, who last year driving for the AGI Sport team won the AU4 Championship, fastest in his group, his starting pole. But firstly, let's hear from Alexander Bondare.
Alexander, starting behind the US racing cars, so where do you see your main opportunities to overtake during the race?
Yeah, I think Monza is the track where you can overtake the most, and it's a good starting position to have around here. So, of course, T1's a big overtaking opportunity, and yeah, the 3 US cars in front, I'll try to do my best to overtake.
Thank you.
The Williams F1 Academy junior driver Alexander Bondarev starts inside second row of the grid. He is a former race winner last year in this series at this circuit. So pole position for this, the first of our 4 races here this weekend, Group B versus C. To the right of your screen is Noah Killion from Sydney, Australia, who's starting 1 position ahead of his teammate Alexander Savinkov, who's speaking with Laura.
So qualifying was extremely close with the top 4 separated by just a few thousand. So how do you assess your performance this morning?
Yeah, we should be in for the fight for the win. I mean, it's Monza, so anything can happen, and it doesn't really matter where you start as long as you're inside top 10, you can win the race. But I think we have good chances. I'm with my teammates, and we can work together. Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck.
Savinkov for the US Racing team starts out of Grid 3. In fact, the German team here in Italy start 1, 2, 3 on the grid, which looks like this. Yes, last year's AU4 champion, Noah Killion from Sydney, Australia, driving for the former Williams Formula 1 Grand Prix engineer. Adam Gotch of AGI Sport took pole position yesterday. He won the AU4 series last year and now takes pole position in his group last evening. Starts pole position for the first of our 4 races here this weekend as the US Racing drivers lock out the first 3 positions on the grid. There is Noah, Chicago, USA raised, born Sydney, Australia, pole position here at the Temple of Speed at Monza in the north of Italy. Lucas Samalisto, who had brilliant speed at Vallelunga round 2. This is round 3, of course. There is Luca. The right side of the grid to the left of your screen, car 7 from Tampere in Finland, where I can promise you the temperature is around about 20 degrees less than what we've got here this weekend at Monza. Sweltering conditions here in the north of Italy, 37 degrees Celsius. The track temperature almost 50 degrees Celsius. Just a few moments away from the start, the first of our 4 races here this weekend, a record-breaking entry, 49 drivers from 29 nations around the world. It is Australia, Finland, the Ukrainian, Russian for the German team out of Grid 3, that is Alexander Savinkov. Then Bondarev from Kiev for the Prema Racing team out of Grid 4. Consani out of Grid 5, the Mercedes Junior. So the group races this morning, this afternoon, tomorrow morning, and the final 36 to race the final round 3 of the 2026 Italian F4 Championship here at Monza, presented by the Automobile Club of Italy, together with WSK Promotion. 1 minute from the start, the engines, the 1.4-litre turbocharged Abarth engine, producing around about 185 horsepower, Alto Technica tuned. Their world-class new factory just outside, not too far away from Linate Airport, former home of the Alfa Romeo Group. Where these cars are manufactured, of course, Tata's now part of the Chorus Group. More than 500 of these Tata's T421 new generation cars have been produced. It was a milestone moment for Alto Technica and, of course, Tata's, who are in action this weekend all around the planet, also in the United States of America. 160 Tata's cars in action, also this weekend, the Formula Regional European Championship. This is the first race of round 3 of the F4 series. Noah on pole, Luca out of Grid 2, Alexander out of 3, US Racing 1, 2, 3 on the grid. The second Ukrainian, Bondarev, the Williams Junior, starts out of Grid 4, flying the flag for the team from Grisignano, Vicenza, not too far from Venice. That's the first of the Prema Racing team drivers. Alexander Bondarev, we go to Andy Consani, the Mercedes Junior. Thomas, 2 times race winner last year in the British F4 series for the Barnum Sport Racing team. Kenzo, second Mercedes Junior, is Craigie, starting alongside Ari Bansal from Bangalore in India. Al Baksoy back on Grid 9, but the driver from Istanbul is the championship leader. O menino do Brasil, Augusto Toniolo, Grid 10 for Trident Motorsport team. Ahead of his teammate Dominic Chimet from the Czech Republic. 2 podiums thus far at Vallelunga for David Walter, but qualifies at Grid 12. He's ahead of Kingsley Zhang, Luca Roykov, and Beco Bernoldi. The 2 Trident team drivers, Nicolas Cortez from Mexico. Car 24 for the Jensen Motorsport team out of Grid 16. So we go to Christian Kostoy, the McLaren Junior Backham, 17th alongside the German Elia Weiss. Alexander Ruta, who was in the gravel in qualifying yesterday, 19, and Niccolo Maccagnani, who took a pole position in Vallelunga, way back on the 10th row of the grid. Simon Reichenbacher, the German, makes his debut in the series alongside the Italian, Swede, New Zealander from Monte Carlo. It's Oscar Bettel, Levi Ahn, and Peyton Westcott from Laguna Beach in California. The American ahead of Jacopo Martinez, another series debutant. Bennett Gaspar ahead of his countryman Tomas Genda. Fabrizio Forgazza do Brasil ahead of Vittorio Orsini. Also on debut is George Proudfoot Nelda for the AKM Antonelli Motorsport team. Roseanne Van Driver for the Maffei Racing team. She makes her debut, one of 6 racing for the Women's Trophy here this weekend. And Andre Rodriguez from Colorado, also from the United States of America, way back on the 16th row of the grid. The series debutantes, it's tough here in the Italian series. Roseanne Van Den Driver for the Maffei Racing team, a position behind George Proudfoot Nelda. As we look at Kingsley Shan going through, head of Lupa Roykoff in 73. So George from Orange, New South Wales, about 300 kilometres to the west of Sydney. It's only about 40 minutes from arguably one of the greatest race circuits in the world. Of course, I'm referring to Bathurst, Mount Panorama. He grew up racing at the incredible Orange Kart Racing Club, 893 metres, that circuit. It is a magnificent track built back in the 1960s. As we see Maccagnani coming into pit lane, in trouble is the Roman. George Proudfoot Nelda flying the flag for the Orange Kart Racing Club, which hosted the South Pacific titles as early as the late 1970s. Great new president installed, the rugby playing president. Good morning, Jeff, or good evening. George Proudfoot Nelda back on the 15th row of the grid for the Antonelli Motorsport team. As you look at George's countryman, this is Noah, car 13 for Us Racing on pole position. Niccolo Maccagnani, the Roman, who had a rotten run at Vallelunga, has pulled into pit lane and will have to start from the back of the pack if indeed he can even rejoin the race. This is Elia Weiss, car 22 for Jensen Motorsport on the 9th row of the grid. A sunny Saturday here at the Temple of Speed. We welcome you to Monza, the home of the Italian Formula One Grand Prix. Race 1, round 3 of the Italian F4 Championship. Here at the legendary circuit of Monza, which was built back in 1922. The Us Racing drivers, 1, 2, 3 on the grid. The green flag flies, the 5 red lights for the first time this weekend. Here at Monza, we race. Noah races off the line. We've got one of the Trident drivers who has stalled to the right of your screen, has gone nowhere as the field goes storming down into turn 1.
Yes, racing 1, 2, 3,
Noah
side by side, 3 wide.
Racing drivers, the trio. 1, 2, 3.
They make it through
Max
Max Brecker.
start from Andy Consani, and incredibly, remarkably,
Oh, yikes.
thus far, a
Yikes.
clean start into the notorious
Yes.
turn 1. Well, they've done so much better than the GT World Challenge drivers did at that corner, at this circuit just a few weeks ago. Great start from these young drivers. It's clean. It's Noah who leads the way from Savinkov. There's Bondareo under attack from Andy Consani and Kenzo Craigie. The Mercedes drivers, 5, 6. Going straight through, look to be Thomas Behrman. Through the Roshi chicanes, it's Kilian, there's Costoya. It was Dominic Shinek, incidentally, who stalled off the line, has got going, as has Niccolo Maccagnani from pit lane.
Whoa. Up the curve.
Short-cutting at the first chicane, and that immediately has been noted by race officials here at Monza. Great start as they go down into a start
Kilian,
for
I
the
think,
first time.
leads.
Noah from Luca, Savinkov, the Us Racing drivers, 1, 2, 3 on a super sunny Saturday morning here at the Temple of Speed. Kilian, who took pole position in his group last night, has got the race lead as we look at.
Oh,
It looks to be one of the Antonelli Motorsport drivers going straight ahead, getting back on track, and they will have been Vittorio Orsini in car 88. There is Consani Header Craigie, Kenzo, the top rookie, the second Mercedes driver, car 34 in P6. We come across the line for the first time. There is the series leader, Outback Soy, having to defend from David Walter, who's made a brilliant start. The Matthew Racing driver, already up into P9 ahead of Thomas Gammon. Noah under attack from his Finnish teammates, drivers from the opposite end of the earth. From Sydney, Australia. In P1, from Tampere in Finland. In P2, Kenzo around the outside, Savinkov and Consani as well. The crowd building here on the last day of autumn is Acci Racing Weekend, with more than 60 drivers in action later this weekend in the Italian GT3 Championship. But at the moment, we are concentrating on the world's most competitive junior car racing series as Luca launches down the inside. Samalisto sends it through to take the lead. Killian back to second. There's Bondarev in P3. We have to watch for Outback Soy, who's now being passed by David Walter. There's the Great Dane for the Matthew Racing team. 2 superb podiums at Vallelunga. Not a good run in qualifying, and now he's chasing down the driver from Bangalore in India, also for the US Racing team, car 46. It's Ari Bansal. Under the historic old banking down into Ascari. Samalisto, Killian, Bondarev. Is Consani, Savinkov, Craigie, Vansel, Walter into 8, Aksoy, the second rookie back. He is the outright championship leader. After a great debut in the Italian series at Misano, as we see Luca throw it into the Michele Alboreto Parabolica. Fantastic from the 2022 Finnish OK Cup Racing champion. Good start from Deco Bertinoldi as well. Bernardo do Brasil up into P11 ahead of his Bulgarian teammate for the Trident Motorsport team. Roykov, Sheng and Kostoya. So they go racing down into turn 1. Commendable from these young drivers. They've kept it clean. They've set the example. If we're honest, we are surprised, but we are impressed. Excellent driving standards here this morning, the first of 4 races. Samalisto from Killian Bondarev. Down into pit lane, it looks to be Kingsley Sheng. In fact, no, it's Macagnani again. Niccolo is in trouble. The Roman, who was one of the pre-season favourites, the Ferrari junior driver, has pulled into pit lane, as has Andre Rodriguez. Costoya in the gravel, a crash into the Roche chicane. Costoya takes avoiding action. It looked to be one of the Trident Motorsport cars. Costoya has gone on by. We stay green out front. There is a local yellow only. Into the Roche chicane. This was Macagnani going down through Ascari without the front wing. He's now rejoined, as has Andre Rodriguez. The American back on track. No front wing, and that will save them because the safety car comes out. Dominic Shimek. No, in fact, it's the 73 car. Look at this. Orsini. No, it's George. It's George Proudfoot Nalder. In fact, GPN from Orange, Australia, has retired with big damage to car 66. Macagnani has rejoined with a new front wing, as has Andre Rodriguez, and they are saved by the belt. Well, the safety car comes back out on track, does Macagnani Rodriguez. Roykov parked in the middle of the circuit, and George Proudfoot Nalder is out. Costoya did superbly well to avoid that incident, and for the first time today, the safety car comes out onto the track here at Monza. It was a good start to the first of 4 races here this weekend. Inevitably, though, the safety car makes what surely will not be its last appearance. It was a good start down into turn 1, a clean start. But George Proudfoot Nalder on debut in the Italian Championship comes together with Dominic Shimek. There's Costoya into the gravel. Elia Weiss also taking to the sand to avoid. Head of Levian. They've made their way through. This is George. GPN's morning is over. Roykov's car being dragged off to the right side of your screen. Look at the sand and gravel which has been dragged onto the circuit. A world-class safety team here at Monza, of course, the Italian Formula One Grand Prix to take place here at the Temple of Speed on the first Sunday of September. This is the third round of the Italian F4 Championship. We look for the series leader, Alpac Soy, P9. Gives us a moment to check out the series standings after the first round at Misano on Italy's Adriatic coast. And then just a few weeks ago at Vallelunga, north of the eternal city of Rome. Coming to Monza for round 3, Alpac Soy, 144 points. Luca Samalisto, 138 in second. But critically, the Finn looking for the win here this morning. David Cosma Christopher, who will be in action in the second race this afternoon. DCC P3. Robinson, who took his second pole position last evening, will also be on track in A versus D. That's effectively the second race this afternoon. Robinson, 110 points from Savinkov, who's currently P3 on 102, tied with the Dane, David Walter, who's come up to position 8 after starting out of grid 12 for the Maffei Racing team. Car 33, Tommy Gagenda going through, one of 2 Hungarians in the field. Bennett Gaspar, also car 85. 2 drivers from, I want to say, Eastern Europe, the eastern side of Europe. Of course, with the forthcoming Hungarian Formula One Grand Prix coming up. And just a week ago, the World MotoGP Championship at the world-class New Peloton Park circuit. Genda and Bennett Gaspar down in 22nd and 24th positions, respectively. We expect this to be a quick safety car intervention. The track has almost been cleared. So they go down the back straight into the Michele Alboreto Parabolica. I'll say that again. The Michele Alboreto Parabolica. The final corner here at Monza. The lights on the safety car. We'll see in just a moment. No word from race control, so we expect one more lap before we go green. Here at Monza, Samalisto, Kilian Savinkov, and the team of Gerhard Unger and Ralf Schumacher, 1, 2, 3, here at the Temple of Speed. Samalisto, Kilian, Savinkov, Consani, and he's moved up to P4 from Bondrev. Kenzo Craigie, P6, there's Walter going through. Harry Barnsell, just behind Kenzo. Kenzo is the top rookie. Alpac Soy, P9, the second rookie, but will be unconcerned with that. He is the outright championship leader. The driver from Istanbul in Turkey. Istanbul Park back on the calendar in the FIA Formula One World Championship in 2027. And of most interest, or of most note, Young Alp, the championship leader, also racing next year at Istanbul Park, are both the FIA Formula 2 and Formula 3 championships as well, together with Formula 1. Luka Roykov, the Bulgarian, out. It's a long walk back through the forest here at the park of Monza, back to the pits. The safety car will come in at the end of this lap. And we will race the second half of race 1 of 4 here at Monza. Confirmation to the bottom left of your screen. Incidentally, Nicolas Cortez up into 16th place. Great start from the Mexican, currently the fastest on circuit with a 153.845. Top speed yesterday in qualifying, 248 kilometers an hour. Here at the Temple of Speed, the 5.7 kilometer circuit. This is Bondi going through P5, car 27. Out of Lesmo 1, this is Lesmo 2. The far part of the circuit. The forest, the park, the public park here at Monza. And surely one of the most famous race circuits in the world, north of the fashion capital, the city of Milan, in the north of Italy. The track temperature, I can tell you, is almost nudging 50 degrees Celsius, 49.6 now. The Pirelli DMA compound tyre tried to come in with around about 1.4 bar of pressure. It is a different compound, which we've used since the start of 2025. Higher tyre pressures running in these cars, in these tyres, I should say, despite the warm conditions here this weekend at Monza. Lucas Samalisto, the Finn, backs the field up slowly down the back straight. We've had carnage in this situation before. It is walking pace. It is the Finn who will set the pace. I can tell you the green flag is flying now on the start-finish line. The race is now green, but Luca is the race leader, and they cannot pass until they cross the start-finish line. Walking pace down the back straight. Okay, a fast walk, around about 45 kilometres an hour at the moment. The telemetry is telling us they will add 200 kilometres an hour to that in just a moment. As now Samalisto accelerates and we race once again here at Monza. Noah tries to go with his Finnish teammate, who tries to break the slipstream race across the line. Noah down the inside.
Oh, big lockup.
Goes in deep. He's done it. What a move from the Aussie. Spectacular from Noah. It looked as though he would not make the corner. Potentially has put a massive flat spot on the tyre, but he's got through to take the race lead. Samalisto, there's Safinkov. The US Racing drivers, the leading trio, 1, 2, 3. Back to Andy Consani, the Mercedes Junior for RSGP. There's Bondarev on the inside of Craigie, another lockup from Noah. Samalisto back into P3. Into Lesmo 1. The two teammates, Safinkov and Samalisto. There's Walter on the outside through Lesmo 2. David, the Great Dane, on the charge. As we see Andy Consani go on through. Trying to fight with the US Racing duo. There's Behrman, puts the left rear into the gravel. It carries on, does Thomas. Behrman, car 87 in P10. Bondarev on the outside tries to intimidate. Andy Consani, Ari Pansel, they're off into the gravel. Watch Walter try and capitalise. The Dane for the Mafia Racing team gets the run. There is Bernoldi having a great run here this morning. But out front, Noah Kilian, P1 from Safinkov and Samalisto. Into the Parabolica. This is Bondarev on the inside. Consani stays with him. There's the Mafia Racing driver, David Walter, who's gone through, but will get the slipstream despite making up those places. So it's Noah from Alexander, Samalisto, Consani, Bondarev, Craigie, Walter, Aksoy, Alp up to 8 from Barcel in Bernoldi, now inside the top 10. Costoya, P15, the final points paying position. We can see the orange car of the McLaren Junior from Spain on the outside into the chicane. Head of Reckenmacher, Cortez, the fastest driver on the circuit. Weiss, Arne, Ruta Martinez, and Peyton Westcott. Through La Curva Grande, the big corner as it literally translates as we go into the final 10 minutes of the first of our 4 races here into the Roche chicane. Kilian, Safinkov, Samalisto. This is Bondarev, car 34, just behind is Kenzo Craigie, KC. Here's the first of the Mercedes Junior drivers for the RSGP team. Andy Consani going through. Split by Bondarev. Niccolo Macagnani, for our Italian fans, has rejoined us. We see one of the PHM drivers going very wide, not lifting, coming out of Lesmo 2. Looked to be Oscar Petel, who's done remarkably well to bring it back on track. As we mentioned, the Roman, Niccolo Macagnani has rejoined. In fact, it was Martinez. Niccolo Macagnani from pit lane with the new front wing has rejoined. He is still circulating the Ferrari Junior, but way down in position 24. Safinkov will get the toe from Noah Kilian. Samuelisto back to 3. Consani, Bondair, Craigie, Walter from grid 12. The Great Dane now in 7th place. Killian tries to break the slipstream. Down into turn 1, into the first chicane. Respect between the two, the 3 teammates. Samuelisto, Lucas still in P3. The umbrellas you can see in the green stand, that is not for the rain, and it certainly won't be here this weekend. The sun beating down here at the Temple of Speed as we see 2 drivers shortcut. Literally, the first chicane. Well, once upon a time, there used to be nothing but sand and gravel there as Andy goes fastest. Too tempting to take the shortcut, which has been noted by race officials. Killian, Noah, with the race lead from Savinkov, Samuelisto, Consani, Bondarev, Craigie, Walter, Aksoy, Bansal in P9 ahead of what was Thomas Behrman. But I can tell you, Thomas has just made a pit stop for a new front wing. He has rejoined, but he's way down in 30th position. Noah on the inside into the Ascari chicane. Savinkov. This is fabulous racing between the leading duo, the leading trio for the US Racing Team. Costoya on the outside of Augustus Toniolo. There's Levian from Switzerland just behind. Elia Weiss, his Jensen Motorsport teammate. They go wheel to wheel down the back straight into the Parabolica. Noah on the inside. Savinkov on the outside in car 17. Luca is catching the both of them. Keep it clean, boys. Gerhard Unger watching on from pit lane. Former mastermind of the HWA Mercedes AMG team success in the German DTM Touring Car Championship. Now his cars 1, 2, 3 across the line at more than 240 kilometers an hour. Kilian Savinkov.
3 wide on the brakes.
Consani in the background. Watching this, a
Oh,
slight
off
up
road.
and goes straight ahead.
Samuelisto.
Will rejoin Savinkov. And here's the opportunity for Andy Consani around the outside. Fantastic from Andy. Goes on through. Andy into P3 trying to make it 2nd place. The US Racing drivers 1, 2, 3 not for long. Andy Consani looking for his maiden breakthrough victory in the Italian F4 Championship. Here comes Bondi. Fabulous fast from Bondarev as well. He's now the top Ukrainian. Takes Savinkov. And it's Craigie, Walter, Aksoy, the championship leader. Barnsel, Bernoldi, good drive from Kingsley Sheng, Reckenbacker, the German on debut in the Italian series here at Monza. Levian, Costoya, and Nicolas Cortez, the Mexican, in the final points paying position. Despite this, just a moment to go. That was Elia Weiss. In P17, behind Peyton Westcott, who's driving brilliantly. One of 6 drivers racing for the Women's Trophy here this weekend. Peyton also racing in the F1 Academy Series. Peyton Westcott, she's now into P16. Good drive from the Californian, trying to chase down her fellow North American, the Mexican, Nicolas Cortez. Peyton, she's in 16th place. Not too far off this battle as you watch Bernoldi go through. Sheng, Reckenmacher, Levian, Costoya, the McLaren Jr., Cortez, and the Californian Peyton Westcott back to the fight for the front. Walter around the outside fighting with Savinkov. Fabulous racing here at Monza. Bondarev on the inside, they're 3 wide, but the yellow flag is waving. That is not at this part of the circuit. It is at the final corner. We are green as they go through the first chicane into La Curva Grande. Walter, what a move from the Great Dane. David sends it. Fabulous pass. The Dane for the Swiss Matthew Racing Team, but he's passed on the exit. Bondarev fights back. This is turning out to be one of the best races we've seen at Monza in the Italian F4 Series for quite some time. It is still Luca back in P1, Noah in 2nd place, Consani, Bondarev, Craigie, Aksoy, Savinkov as they come out of the Rocha chicane. There's Costoya.
Car on the fence.
Oh, we speak too soon. Into the gravel. And out is the pole, Alexander Ruta. It looks to be at Lesmo 1. Alexander Ruta has had a big hit at the far part of the circuit. That looks to be, I'll stand corrected on this, into Lesmo 1 in the dying stages. Just over 3 minutes remaining, but we will have a safety car intervention for Alexander Ruta, who is into the wall and out. So Luca Samolisto had just taken the race lead back from his teammate Noah Kilian in second place and Andy Consani in P3. This is the race leader, Samolisto, Noah in second. There's Andy. Bonded P4 from Kenzo Craigie, Alpaxoy, still the championship leader. Well, he was coming into this round. He's there in P6.
To be the 5th win of the season for Luca Samolisto.
Alexander Ruta into the wall. It may well, still trying to work out exactly where it was. Either at Lesmo 1, but there is dust flying out of the parabolic of the final corner. Regardless, Ruta is out along with Luba Roykov from Bulgaria and the series debutant George Proudfoot-Nalda, who retired car 66 for the Antonelli Motorsport team. So 90 seconds remaining. It looks as though we will finish under the safety car. There is Alexander Ruta. The pole makes his way back to pit lane. He is fine. Lucas Samolisto with the race lead, unless we get a one-lap sprint to the checkered flag. It will be a safety car finish here at Monza. Samolisto, Kilian, Consani, Bondarev, Craigie, Aksoy, Savinkov, Barnsell, Bernaldi, Kingsley Zheng, Simon Reckenmacher in P11 from Arn, Costoya, Cortez, and Peyton Westcott, potentially with the final point that is made redundant before I can finish the sentence, because news from race control. Safety car in this lap. We will race green. That is fantastic work from the team at Monza. Safety car in this lap. So it is not over yet. We will have a one-lap sprint to the checkered flag. Race 1, round 3 at the Temple of Speed, the Italian F4 Championship. Luca from Noah, Consani, Bombardev, Craigie, Aksoy, the second rookie, 6th outright, is the championship leader. Safety car in this lap. The Finn to take the win. Or can the Australian, who won last year's Australian F4 Championship for the AGI Sport team based at Sydney Motorsport Park, formerly known simply as Eastern Creek. Noah, who was fastest in his qualifying group yesterday. And don't discount Andy Consani. P3 car 30. The French Mercedes AMG Junior. We have just passed the 25-minute mark as the field come out of Ascari. Lucas Samolisto watching back the field up once again. He got a brilliant restart last time round. The safety car comes through the parabolical now. It is about to turn into pit lane. The green flag is flying now on the start-finish line, not at the back part of the circuit. They cannot pass until they cross the start-finish line. The race is green. It will be a one-lap sprint to that checkered flag. Race 1, round 3, the Italian F4 Championship here at the home of the Italian Formula One Grand Prix, the world's most competitive junior car racing series, presented by the Automobile Club of Italy together with WSK Promotion, and you're about to find out why. The Finn from the Australian, the Frenchman in third. Samolisto leads the field around through the parabolica. He waits. It will be a one-lap sprint to the checkered flag here at Monza. Still does not go. Just repeating, they cannot pass until they cross the start-finish line. Does not want to give the slipstream. at more than 240 kilometres an hour. They will not top that as they come out of the parabolic slowly. Summer Listo dictates the pace. He's in first place. He can do exactly that. The green is flying now. Summer Listo goes, and we race. We sprint to the checkered flag here at Monza. Fabulous restart from Summer Listo. Breaks the toe from Kilian, who's now under attack from Andy Consani. AC in P3 from Bondarev. Craigie, Aksoy, Savinkov. As they scatter down into turn one, look at the lead from Lucas Summer Listo.
Oh, way up the curb.
Credit
Kilian.
to Noah Kilian, who does make the corner, puts the effort to actually go round
Oh,
the right
round.
side of the track.
Is that
But it's all come to an
Alpascoy?
end for Andy Consani.
And
The Frenchman is out.
along with one of the primers.
Andy Consani, who was in position to, retires on the final lap of the race. He's also taken out one of the Prema Racing drivers, or that may well be the other way around. It's Bondarev. Bond is out as well. It is kicking off in the dying stages. Ari Barnsel shortcuts the Roger chicane.
Whoa.
Lucas Summer Listo on his way to victory here this morning. Costoya goes through, now up into P12 from Macagnani. What a comeback from the Roman into the gravel. It was an RSGP car. They're driven so well thus far. But it is all kicking off in the dying stages. The US Racing drivers, 1-2. Macagnani has recovered to be in P13. Oscar Repetto was into the gravel.
Oh, way off.
As we see one of the Trident drivers trying to bring it home. Kendall into the gravel, but out front it will be the Finn who takes the win. Lucas Summer Listo started grid 2. This is his Australian teammate who started pole position, but out of the final corner, that checkered flag will wave. Luca, the Finn takes the win. Summer Listo wins a fabulous first race here this morning at Monza. It's an US Racing 1-2. Noah crosses the line second. Casey in 3. That's Craigie. Aksoy. Alp comes home, pick 4. That's why he's the championship leader from Barnesville.
Oh, off the road.
Into the gravel. It was Thomas on the final lap of the race. He did rejoin after making a pit stop. Incredibly, only misses the points by 2 positions. Lucas Summer Listo has won the race, but we are being told by race control the race restart procedure is under investigation. Wow. This is the race winner, Lucas Summer Listo. Noah Kilian second, Craigie, Aksoy, Barnsel, Savinkov, great drive from Levian to P7 from Kingsley Zheng, Simon Reckenmacher, Costoya. That's better from the highly rated Spaniard. Cortez, Weiss, Macagnani, what to drive to come home 13th from Dominic Shimek, and Rodriguez. Andre, who is in the pits at the end of the first lap, takes the final position in the points in 15th place. Andy Consani, Bondarev, into the chicane, the final lap. Consani beached in the sand, Bondarev into the wall. The Mercedes and Williams Juniors are out. Benny going straight ahead. Does finish in P24 ahead of Oscar Repetto. Unfortunately, Peyton Westcott, well, she was in a points-paying position, but has crossed the line down in 26th position. Consani out, Bondarev out, Walter also out on the final lap. Ruta, Roykov, and George Proudfoot-Nelda. 6 retirements from what was a highly entertaining race here at Monza. Summer Listo takes the race win. It's an US Racing 1-2 to kick the weekend off here this morning at Monza. This is Luca Car 7, incidentally just behind Andre Rodriguez. Fabulous performance for the Grant Motorsport team driver from Colorado in the United States of America. He never lost the faith that he would come carving through. He was in the pits at the end of the first lap. And from the back of the grid comes home in the final points paying position. Great drive from Andre. Luca takes the victory from Noah. And Kenzo Craigie P3 and the rookie win. Alp, the championship leader in P4 from Barnsell, Savinkov, Levian, Kingsley Zhang, Reckenmacher, Costoy, Nicholas Cortez. From Elia Weiss, Martignani, great comeback from the Roman, Dominic. And Andre Rodriguez in P15. The driver from the United States of America for Cram Motorsport from pit lane, from the back of the grid, picks up a point with 15th place here this morning. Heartbreak for his countrywoman, the Californian Peyton. She was in 14th with a lap to go, but crosses the line down in 26th position. Tough debut for George, out after just a handful of laps. We'll try and get a word as ever with the race winner, Lucas Samalisto, who comes down his pit lane on a very warm morning here at Monza. Kenzo's car to the left of your screen. The French-Jamaican Breathe, the Mercedes Junior for the RSGP team from the very west of France. And the team from Cologne are outside in Germany to take victory with their Finnish driver here this morning. Lucas Samalisto wins race 1 here at the Temple of Speed.
Please don't die, please don't die. Oh,
Kenzo Craigie starts at grid 7 but comes home on the podium to finish in 3rd. From Noah in 2nd, the race winner is Lucas Samalisto, who's speaking with Laura.
So look, a victory that was far from guaranteed. Congratulations. A tough race and a tough match as well.
Yeah, I mean, the race were quite hectic, to be honest. There was a lot of racing and also my own small mistakes. I dropped to P3, I think, 1 lap after the safety car restart, and just managed to stay P3 and try to fight my way again to the top. And I think the pace were quite okay, not the best at this moment, but we managed to catch Noah and Alex and managed to overtake both, and then just started my own stuff. Then we had another safety car and did a good restart. Like on the first one, also the restart were quite good. And then just won the race and really happy about it. And big thanks for the US racing team for the mega effort. And yeah, also big thanks to my sponsors. Thank you. Thank you.
Noah Killian started from pole position. The Sydney sider raced down into turn 1. It was a clean start. These young drivers did impress us, getting away cleanly with the exception of Dominic Šimek, who stalled on the grid. The US racing drivers 1, 2, 3 in the early stages before Kenzo Craigie and Andy Consani broke up the party, as did Alexander Bondarev. Ultimately, though, the Ukrainian would finish in the wall in a heartbreaking start to the weekend. Safety car coming out to avoid, or for Dominic Šimek, as Costoy did avoid. Spinning car 73. Roykov, in fact, it was. Back green, and it was the US racing drivers 1, 2, and 3. Killian Samalisto and Alexander Savinkov racing down the start-finish straight here at Monza at more than 240 kilometres an hour as David Walter was carving up through the field from grid 12 up into 7th place. Alexander Ruta into the wall. It was a 1-lap sprint to the checkered flag. A brilliant restart from Samalisto, but that is under investigation. He raced away to take the provisional victory, and then this. Into the wall goes Bondarev as Luca takes the victory and is surely now one of the favourites for the 2026 Italian F4 Championship. He wins race 1 here at Monza. So this is the championship standings. We can see Luca Summerlistol has now overtaken Al Baksoy, just 4 points in it. David Cosma Christopher, DCC, still P3 in the series. He'll be on track for race 2 later today, round 3 of the Italian Championship. The second race will take place at 5:30 local time, so almost exactly 5 hours from now. Make sure you catch all the action live around the world. From the home of the Italian Formula One Grand Prix, great to have your company if it's late at night, if it's early in the morning, combining this Archie racing weekend, no doubt with watching the FIFA World Cup. At times, some of us quite disappointed this morning. Lucas Summerlistol from Finland takes the victory.
Partiamo con la consegna dei trofei dal terzo classificato Kenzo Krejci, tutti i trofei consegnati per mano di Giancarlo Minardi, consigliere delegato di AC Sport. La seconda posizione.
Kenzo Krejci, P3. This is Norman second, and the great Mr. Giancarlo Minardi presents the race-winning trophy to Lucas Summerlistol. The Finn takes the win here at Monza.
Dal team US Racing. Partiamo dunque con l'inno nazionale finlandese.
The new championship leader wins race 1. It's Lucas Summerlistol on the top step of the podium in the centre.
Very nicely done there. Lucas Summerlistol wins, and your rookie winner, Kenzo Krejci, who finishes P3 overall. Very, very nicely done. Race 2 a bit later on today from 12 o'clock, around about 12 o'clock local time. But up next, it's for the Formula Regional European Championship. It's up in about 5-10 minutes. Catch you then. Bye-bye.